There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the ImagineEars Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt. I am joined, as always, by my good friend, co-host, medal champion, rug enthusiast, Susie.
I thought you were going to say like nice things about me, and then you just started describing my background. Yes, for anyone wondering, this is a rug. It has been there for a long time. It will be there for a few more months. My dog Copper, every few weeks still has an accident in the house out of spite when he gets mad at me. And so I'm waiting a few more months until he stops that so I can swap. It's the same rug I currently have in my living room. I bought another one because IKEA. So
do you remember Triumph, the insult dog?
No.
Conan O'Brien?
No.
His big thing with his insult would be like, that's a nice carpet you have there for me to poop on.
That's literally Copper.
That would be his insult to you.
One night he peed on my rug. I never give him human food, but he really wanted my dinner that night, and he literally looked me in the eye and just like lifted his leg. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? So no, he's gotten a lot better. But yes, I have a rug. It's not a magic carpet. This isn't like a weird Aladdin reference. It's just my office.
There we go.
Anyway, well, I don't make fun of your background.
Well, there's nothing to make fun of. So, I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, where'd you get that bookshop? The toilet store? Bookshelf?
Bookshop.
Yeah, I didn't even do it right. Anyway, hi.
Already off the rails.
You started. You made fun of my carpet.
Yes. Well, we'll try to get back on. Well, business first. Tickets had Florida resident tickets have returned, and I'm very, very glad to see them. The Florida resident summer fun tickets are now on sale.
I mean, summer is halfway over, but thanks to Disney.
Well, I had a lot of people. So we're from Florida, so we have a lot of our clientele is from in-state, and a lot of them may or may not have chosen not to keep their annual pass, which may or may not have come to bite them in the bum. Yes. Now you can't get them. I think that'll change soon.
I do too.
That'll change soon. But in the meantime, the specially priced Disney tickets that they usually have for the summer and the fall are back. Except this time it's not really in the fall. It ends mid-September. I don't know why. I mean,
is that when summer ends? Disney going by the solstice for their ticket promotions.
It's ending before October 1st.
Okay. Okay. Little bit going on that weekend.
Little bit. So they are good through September 17th. And not only can you get 4-day tickets, 3-day tickets, you can also do 2-day tickets.
Finally, because the 2-day tickets, there was not a Florida resident option right now, and they were the same price as a 3-day Florida resident if you did the 2-day non. So yeah, for everyone who wanted that 2-day option, ta-da!
This is the time to do it. So I know you guys are out there that have been itching to get back to the parks, and you're not, well, because you can't do annual passes right now. This is the best price you're going to get through the end of September. Things are going to change after that. In fact, I would encourage anyone who wants to book a vacation in the next year for the 50th anniversary, make your reservations now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it will happen, but it's likely that ticket prices will go up at some point in the next 18 months. It's kind of like clockwork, with the exception of this past year with COVID. They always go up. So if you if you book now, you can lock in those ticket rates and they won't change.
Right.
So, but I'm looking at the Florida resident 2-day. So if I wanted the 2-day ticket and I wanted to do one park per day, the price for ages 10 and up is $159.70.
That's insane. That's insane. That's really good.
Some tickets would be closer to like $138. So you're getting a steal on this.
Yeah.
Ages 3 to 9, it's the same too. So it's the same price for ages 3 to adult. And then if you wanted the park hopper option, that ticket would change to $197.03. So still saving.
And for the summer, that's like what, $100 a day,
right?
With park hopper, yeah, for 2 days. You could literally go to all 4 parks.
It's a great deal. And then on the most expensive side of things, if you wanted the 4-day ticket with park hopper, you would be looking at $266. So
not bad.
Saving a lot. So
yeah,
for residents, now is the time to jump on that and take advantage of the special pricing. Again, that goes through mid-September, and you can book with us. So if you want to book those tickets or any vacation package at all, you can email us at ImagineEarsPodcast@gmail.com. Just let us know the dates you want to travel and where you'd like to stay, whether it's on property or off property. Disney Springs has some great hotel options, and the surrounding area around Disney. There are some great places. If you want to use your Hilton or Marriott rewards accounts, we can hook you up with those as well.
Hey, Matt, you just made me think of something that we need to mention at the end of the show regarding hotels around Disney Springs and using Hilton points.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll end it on that because usually we end talking about our Friday night movie, and we're not having one this week.
Yeah.
Because
wait till the end. Oh, okay. You're such a spoiler. Actually, I'm almost a spoiler. I wanted to do a Black Widow review today. We'll do that next week, maybe. I couldn't wait. I want to talk about it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
So yeah, email us, and as always, you can trust us with your vacation planning needs. Both of us are licensed travel agents with Travel Nation, helping families make magical memories no matter where you want to travel. So whether it's Disney World, Disneyland, any of the Disney destinations, Universal, all-inclusives, cruises, honeymoons, family reunions, or just you need a hotel to stay at, you're on the road. My lovely wife, who just recently became an agent, actually pulled up a really cool itinerary for some people. They did a trip very last second.
Yeah.
Out west and visited a lot of the national parks.
Cool.
So yeah, they did Yellowstone and they did Mount Rushmore, and
my brother and sister-in-law are going there this summer. So I've been helping them with some stuff too. Look at us. We know all the things.
Of course. So yeah, so just again, let us know where you'd like to go and we can make it happen for you. We mentioned it last week. So there is a very special event coming in the Orlando area in August. I forgot the actual date.
The 20th through the 22nd?
Yes. Friday,
I know.
Saturday, and
Hope
Sunday.
I know.
It is the Fanboy Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of the there's the graphic that we had. And we'll pull up the Fanboy Expo.
Can you make that noise again when it comes up? Can you go whoop? Okay, cool.
August 20th through 22nd, 2021 in Orlando. It's the Fanboy Expo. This is going to be a blast. Susie is going to be going down, kind of covering the event for the podcast.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of Disney guests that are going to be there.
There are
non-Disney guests that are going to be there. That is incredible. But the original model for Tinkerbell, Margaret Carey, is going to be there. So if you have been on the ABD out in California, I know occasionally she has popped up as a brief guest.
Wow. Look at her pin.
Amazing. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to listen to her speak. And I mean, gosh, what an icon. Think about it. These people met Walt Disney. They know Walt. That's, that number is fading quickly, unfortunately. Right. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. What an icon.
Then, of course, speaking of icons, Jim Cummings is going to be there, the voice of Winnie the Pooh, Darkwing Duck, many of your favorite Disney characters. For all of you Illuminations, Reflections of Earth from Epcot, he is the narrator before the show.
For any of those Hondo Ohnaka fans, he is also Hondo from Clone Wars and Rebels and Smuggler's Run at Galaxy's Edge.
So, incredible talent. And there's other non-Disney guests, like we said. They're going to have a Chips reunion. They're going to have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reunion. It's going to be a blast. So,
Back to the Future. There's quite a large portion of the cast from Back to the Future.
Yep. So if you want information on that, go to fanboyexpo.com for more information. They'll give you ticket prices, base ticket prices, and then also they have some special packaging that includes autographs and personal meet and greets and things like that.
And if you want to go to Disney while you're down there, let us know.
Absolutely.
Hook you up.
Speaking of Disney, let's get into our main
discussion. Do it.
We had a lot of early response from this.
Yeah. We love hearing from you guys when we have a show topic like this where we get your input. As the Imagineers, of course, we spell it differently because of Mickey's ears and podcast listening with your ears. But we always like to kind of put on actual Imagineering hats and see at how creative we can get. Sometimes it's really good. Matt's had some really good ones. I've had some very nerdy suggestions that may have fit at Disney's America, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
I still stand behind my idea for Cusco-topia as a water park. That
would be great.
One of the best ideas I've ever had.
Yeah. But tonight we're going to talk about if Disney World were to open a fifth park or a fifth gate, as
what you mean by gate.
The those in the know call it. What would that park be? What would you guys want to see? And so we came up with ours. We asked you guys. You sent us some responses. But this idea has been rumored for a long time that there's going to be another part. We don't know what it is, but it's always that kind of tinfoil hat conspiracy theory that there's a fifth gate coming at some point.
Right. So for the sake of time, I kind of boiled it down to two kind of main ideas.
Okay.
I don't know how many you came up with.
Really two. Okay. One much more fleshed out, and the other one is a very popular answer, which many of our listeners also suggested.
Right, and we will get to those. We asked the question, we posed the question on social media earlier today. What would you put in a fifth gate? And we had a lot of responses, so we will get to those in a minute. But first, let's start with Susie. Susie, fifth gate. Yeah. What's in it?
Well, I'll say my basic answer first. That came to mind that I think a lot of people have thought of, and that would be a villains park. I think with Descendants and origin movies like Maleficent and Cruella and, everything like that, where kind of the villain culture exists. That sounds really bad, but people like a good villain, and it's not just the princess villains. This opens up the opportunity to have like a dark side section and like a, Marvel characters, whatever we can have, but there's a lot of possibilities for a villains park. And where I had trouble with this idea is as I've gotten older, I sound so old. I'm very concerned about the number of IPs that we keep adding to the parks. So I would not want a park that is like explicitly an IP, because Magic Kingdom is not. Epcot is that idea about, innovation, and Animal Kingdom is animals, Hollywood Studios movies. Those are ideas, not necessarily a specific movie or brand. So I don't know what kind of non-IP attractions the Villains Park would have, but I think aesthetically it would be awesome.
Okay. Let me ask you this about IP, and just posing this question.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, some of the original attractions for Disney are technically intellectual property, right?
Okay. Like Disney has the rights to X, Y, and Z. Okay. But
Snow White technically is intellectual property.
Okay, but the Matterhorn is not.
This is true.
Small World is not. Pirates of the Caribbean started off as not. These are just stories that you create for a ride. And I don't have a problem with that. Oh my gosh. If I could live in Galaxy's Edge, I probably would, which is pathetic. So I love IPs. I think you have to be careful.
No, that's fair. That's a fair argument. So
what's your first one, Matt? Because I know one of them, and I think you're going to conflict with what I just said.
Yeah. So I would love to see a Pixar themed park, like all Pixar. We have so many movies now. How many are there? Like 23?
Oh gosh, 25? Probably. Yeah. Did you see that new trailer for whatever it is?
For Red, or was it Red? What?
It's Red something. I don't know.
We don't know the name.
Well, I sprung that on you. That one doesn't look as good to me.
Well, it was like a 30-second trailer.
I know, but I haven't been teased enough for a teaser trailer, if you will.
Well,
but yeah, there's
a lot of teasers for Luca, and that turned out to be pretty good.
I liked Luca. Luca was cute. But anyway, so a Pixar park. I'll find it. You do your
Turning Red. I knew
Turning Red.
So
it's a cute name, though. Yeah.
Go check out the trailer for that. It looks funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see it, as I am for most Pixar movies. They're fantastic. I mean, there is just so much material that we haven't touched. And so I think that's my first point. I'm done with Toy Story. I love Toy Story, but Toy Story has enough representation already in Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
You have Buzz Lightyear in Magic Kingdom. And then you have Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. Now, I'm not saying those lands are perfect. I think they could be better. I like Slinky Dog. Alien Swirling Saucers is, Mater's Junkyard Jamboree from California Adventure. Just moved over here. And then I know a lot of people like Toy Story Mania.
Don't you dare. What are you about to say?
It's not my favorite.
I love it.
I love getting carpal tunnel to start off the day. It's so great.
I love that ride. But to your point, there are a lot of movies that have zero representation in the parks that definitely could.
Yeah. So now one thing that we technically have seen already that I would love to see in this park is that if they just lifted Cars Land out of Disney's California Adventure and just neatly placed it in this new park, I would be happy, because Cars Land, in my opinion, I think it's the best themed land that they have done.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
We haven't been to Avengers Campus. I like Cars Land better than Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
I like Cars Land better than Toy Story Land.
That's understandable. Yeah.
Haven't seen Avengers Campus yet, but I mean, the design for Cars Land is just perfect.
I haven't seen it in person, but it's stunning.
It's amazing. Like the main drag that they have down there going past flows and the cozy cone, and then it all ends at Radiator Springs Racers. It's just perfectly done. I would love to see that. All of those things, the main attraction, Radiator Springs Racers, and Flo's Cafe and the cozy cone, because who doesn't love some chili con queso in a cone, bread cone? So
people who don't want to purchase Pepto-Bismol while on vacation.
And Kelly brings up a good point as well, especially at night with all the neon. It's stunning. It is so beautiful. So
that's it's a good one. We had some suggestions from listeners to do Pixar. There's a lot of Pixar love for sure, and it's very vibrant, and it would translate well to a park.
Monsters Inc. You could have Monstropolis, and the Scare Floor. Just all there. Lots you could do with that. The Incredibles. Obviously, they have the Incredicoaster out in California, but you could do something completely different out here. I think there's lots of material to work with. Trying to think what it is. Coco.
Yeah,
Coco would be visually stunning to go through. I know a lot of people have wanted a Coco attraction to go inside the Mexico Pavilion.
Please.
To replace
the constantly falling apart Grand Fiesta Tour. Literally.
So I would love to see just that entire movie get its own themed land. So, and this is another question I'm going to have for you, and I'll wrap up my Pixar idea with this.
Okay.
Again, just everything's endless. In fact, Danny, one of our good friends and listeners, he was one of the first people to respond, said, if there was ever a fifth gate, it would have to be Pixar Park. Ride ideas. Incredibles, the Elasticycle coaster.
Ooh.
An Up flight simulator, like Saloon.
Okay. You're selling me.
Inside Out Train of Thought.
Wow.
And for Wally, I know it's your favorite, have a resort themed after the Axiom.
I was going to say Wally should just be walking around picking up trash throughout. Like, he doesn't have a land. He's just a character who wanders around and picks up trash.
Sweeps up trash.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Like, you just see him everywhere.
We're getting the Star Wars, almost said Hyperion. Wait, is it Hyperion? Wait. Halcyon. Yes, thank you. The other H word. Halcyon hotel experience, and you could almost do something very similar with the Axiom, kind of having a virtual reality type thing that they did in the movie. So, Danny, well done, sir.
You guys are right there on the same wavelength.
Right. Oh, and the question I was going to ask you, because every park has to have a weenie. And so a weenie is it's kind of a Disney term. Like it's an object that draws your attention. It just pulls you.
Oh, okay.
So for instance, obviously, Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's Castle.
Weenie is a weird word for it, though.
That's what they call it.
Well, they're weird.
Mount Everest and Tree of Life for Animal Kingdom. So like you can do it for like in lands too. So in Frontierland you have Big Thunder Mountain, like the the mountain spires.
Yeah.
But what would we have for the Pixar park as the weenie? What would we have for the Villains park?
For the villain, I actually thought about this, but I thought of it more from like from an icon perspective. I think you would do either. There's no either. I think you would do the castle and you would make it spooky looking from Snow White because she's the queen. She's bad. And we've already done other princess castles who are good. And Snow White is not the princess to that castle. She's a princess because she marries the prince.
Yeah.
So I think it would be like that. And I think, of course, it's like spooky and, they have like lights projected on it. They're like green, like the poison apple kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But for Pixar, what would you do? Because oh my gosh, the lamp.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it would be the lamp. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine a giant Luxo Jr. just like in the center of the park?
Oh my gosh.
And like
that's actually really cool. That's actually a good idea.
The light bulb could come on, or like, you could do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Now for the Villains park, hear me out. Hear me out. I know this is kind of obscure. Not really. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he makes an appearance, but can you imagine having like a giant volcano mountain, and inside it is a giant animatronic Chernobog that could
from Fantasmic Fantasia. Sorry,
from Fantasia.
Wrong F word.
And that, and he would come out and spread his wings, and like you could do a whole nighttime show around that.
That's pretty cool. That's dark. That is a little dark.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's a villains park, you gotta like really lean into it.
Yeah.
All right. Now you have another idea?
Yes.
All right.
But your turn.
I don't know what this one could be. So here's mine. I thought I really put a lot of thought into this. And if I actually sat down, I would have a lot of fun coming up with attraction ideas for it. I want a park that is just like the others, which are dedicated to ideas. I want one dedicated to animation. And so you walk in and the main street, that kind of main drag, you walk down, it's like artist lane, like you're walking on an artist's desk. You have buildings that look like paintbrushes and paint bottles and pens and whatever. So that would be the main area, and you can have history of animation, Walt Disney World history, or Walt Disney animation history there. And then for the different lands, a section on black and white. So the old school Steamboat Willie attraction, obviously, and just that whole era. A section that's like comic book, and I know that's going to feel very Islands of Adventure. I don't care because it's a different style of animation. So a comic area, one section dedicated to storyboarding. So think of kind of that style you see in Art of Animation or in what's the restaurant on the cruise line? You know what I'm talking about?
Animator's Palette,
where it's that kind of storyboard, and that's more of an ode to the traditional Disney animation, Renaissance era, that whole time period. And then another land that is computer animation, and this is where you can pull in a little bit of Pixar or I would include other stuff like ILM, just anything that involves graphic or anything created with a computer, even if it's like Star Wars or, other movies like that. So it's all different kinds of animation. And of course you can see as it progresses from black and white to CGI or just completely computer designed animation in movies and TV shows, like we're seeing with The Bad Batch right now on Disney Plus. That animation is stunning. It looks live action sometimes. So that is my park idea. I think rides would be really, really fun. I think you have a chance to have a bunch of different characters. How cool would a vintage, not actual vintage because old Mickey Mouse costumes are terrifying. But like the 1930s and 40s style Mickey and that kind of, yeah. Oh, those are scary. But it just opens the door for a lot of things. It celebrates what made Disney, which originated with animation. So I would do basically like an ode to animation as my fifth gate.
Interesting, because I pretty much have the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just a park dedicated to the animation story process. And I thought a name like, why don't I call it Storytellers Park?
Ooh,
yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So very similar to what you said. Just having sections just based on the process. The bringing back of the Animation Academy, I think, would be really cool.
Yes.
Teaching a new generation of kids, just kind of whetting their appetite and interest. I missed that part of Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. I think I think what we're describing picks up what Hollywood Studios was, which was also just a celebration of the movie making process. We're being specific to animation, but Hollywood has kind of moved away from that a little bit over the last couple of years. And I think this is a chance to bring it back. Why not a great movie ride, but it's animated movies instead?
Right.
And like you're going through animation.
And I think so I am actually not big into an entire park themed after villains. I think it's maybe a little too heavy.
Yeah.
I think it's a hard sell. I like the idea, but I think the demographic would be limited.
Well, you can't have the villains win everything, right? So on their attractions, how do you do that? Yeah, there's barriers to it.
Yeah, but I think a land would be awesome. The question is, what villain or villains do you kind of highlight? So that would be a cool idea. And then, I like your idea with, kind of the eras of Disney animation and the progression of that, where you're really appealing to a very broad audience. You have the people who love the classics, like Pinocchio and Snow White and Peter Pan, and then, the newer classics that really do deserve some excellent attractions, like Tangled, Rapunzel, and Moana. And then you can have maybe some Pixar, maybe like a little Pixar section with computer animation. But yeah, just kind of have a whole park that celebrates animation.
I love that. And if anyone's listening, we will definitely sell these ideas for a very reasonable price, including lifetime Club 33 memberships.
Sure.
among other things. I think we can be reasonably bargained with.
Yeah. So the weenie for this park.
The weenie for this park is this is so dumb, but I was thinking like a cup holder with ink, with pens and paintbrushes and pencils and like a tablet. So you have all different kinds of utensils in which you animate.
Okay.
And it's at the end of what you're walking down, which would be the desk for me. What would you think in your storyteller park?
So hear me out.
Oh dear.
Bringing it back.
Yes.
Baby.
Yes. Oh my. Yes.
It's in storage somewhere in like a million pieces.
Well, it's not exactly the kind of thing you take out with your Tuesday morning garbage. It has to exist somewhere. Look at these people in the picture. They have no idea the iconicness that they're standing in front of.
So for those of you who are listening to the podcast, I threw up a picture of the Mickey's sorcerer hat, the blue hat from Hollywood Studios, which I did not like in that place.
That's my first memories of Hollywood Studios was the hat. And it was there for forever. I don't mind it.
I don't hate the hat. I hate where they put it because I like the Chinese theater.
But is the Chinese theater really that park's weenie or icon? Because they used Tower of Terror and they used the water tower for a while. If it's going to be the theater, they need to start incorporating that on the merch where they include little
I agree.
Well, see, like, look at my shirt. This Walt Disney World shirt. There's Tower of Terror. So it's not attraction. My favorite. So, I mean, I wish they would do more with the theater, but I think the hat sums up exactly the kind of park you're talking about.
Right. So, looking at some of the comments that we had.
Okay, go through those, and then I'll share what we've got through for our Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, so I'm checking out the stream, just kind of going through here. Danny, again, chiming in.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Fifth Gate, you can only travel there by bus. It drops you off at a concert venue. You pay and go in to see the newly 2002 reunited Country Bears. They've played for about 4 hours before the park closes. The end. Well played, sir. Well played.
Yes.
Samantha.
Oh my gosh.
Samantha said, I would go to a villain's theme park in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Again, I think aesthetically it'd be really cool, but you still have to make it like villains are still bad.
Yeah. Joe says, Happy Tuesday, guys. Just joining in. Pumped about this topic. Thank you for joining us.
The Country Bears. That is so funny. Oh, my Lord.
Samantha said, if you add the villain from Stitch, it wouldn't be heavy. This is true.
This is true. Smart. Think smarter, not harder, guys. Or work smarter, not harder.
So Samantha actually had several comments, and this one's going to appeal to Susie.
Oh, good. Oh, please don't be sarcastic.
Samantha's going to be your new best friend.
Okay.
Pun intended. A park dedicated to all of the Disney dogs.
I got this little thing. Look at this. I got that for Christmas. Yay! Yes.
That'd be fun.
That's fun. Because we've talked about 101 Dalmatian attraction would be awesome. Like you're trying to escape Cruella.
101 Dalmatians. Trying to think what else. Oliver and Company.
Ooh, yes. Even though Fox and the Hound, but everyone just cries.
Oh. What do you do with that ride?
I don't know.
How does that one end? Not well.
It ends well. It just everyone has their own purpose in life. That's what the movie's about.
You know what other one wouldn't end well? Old Yeller.
Oh my gosh. It's like the shooting range game in Frontierland, but it's Old Yeller.
No. Oh man.
Oh, this is getting darker than a villain's park.
We just lost a bunch of subscribers there.
Everyone knows I love my dogs. That's not
Pluto. Pluto would be the weenie.
Yes. 100%.
She also said the life of Nana the dog. I would love a Peter Pan Nana attraction. That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right. So those are our chat comments for this evening. Let's look at Twitter. I know we had one from Danny. Our friend Mike, aka Finn. What's up, Mike? I would love to see what the villain's theme idea would have looked like. I think the villain's idea was probably our most popular.
Yeah.
Like
villains and Pixar really are the ones most people have said. And I think it's because villains it's just so different. You know?
Yeah. One of our travel agent friends, Nate Goodrich, said villains all day. Crazy coasters for the bigger kids while adding some fun child-appropriate areas as well.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine a ride in the Villains Park where you're Yzma and Kronk and you go down the... Yeah, that'd be fun, because that's a silly... Like, Kronk's a silly villain. A Cillin.
Cillin?
Yeah, you know.
Another popular one that we had was Marvel. Marvel is if it had been a few years ago, it would have been difficult to give this any hope of happening.
Right.
Because of the, we could do an entire episode on, and maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Didn't we? We've talked at length.
We've talked about it in terms of like we're talking about it now in the context of something else. But I think it's worth talking about because there are still restrictions of what they can and can't do in Avengers Campus. For example, you won't see the word Marvel. They can't say Marvel. That's why it's called Avenger Campus, not Marvel.
Yeah, so here's the short of it. Universal.
That's it. That's the answer.
Owns the rights to a lot of the Marvel characters still.
Yeah.
When Islands of Adventure opened up in Orlando, of course they opened with a Hulk coaster, an X-Men ride, there's a Spider-Man ride, and I think that's all the rides, but Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's Fearful.
Yeah.
But the characters, their images are like everywhere. There's even more than that. So like all of you see images of the Fantastic Four, you see some of the other Avengers. They have characters that walk around like Thor and Captain America and Spider-Man. I haven't seen them in a while, so I'm sure they're still doing them. But anyway, the point is Universal still owns the rights to those, which means, also let me say this. They own the rights to those characters east of the Mississippi River, which is why on the West Coast, we're getting Avengers Campus, and it has Spider-Man, and you see all of the other
traditional Marvel characters.
Marvel Avengers characters.
Which is how we are able to have a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction in Epcot. So there are ways around it. And I think what you're alluding to is the way that Marvel is kind of shifting gears and changing the characters that we're focusing on now. It may be a gamble just because we don't know the long-term sentiment people will have to these new set of the Avenger characters, basically the round 2. But yeah, there's characters that are missing that are going to be coming down the pipeline in the next couple of years that we could see things with.
Right. And obviously we are seeing Guardians because there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy themed coaster. I think we can do stuff with Black Panther. I'm pretty sure he's safe to use.
I think so.
You're getting new movies like Shang-Chi.
Yeah, the 10 Rings.
The Eternals. So there's stuff coming down. Miss Marvel eventually will be premiering. I can't remember. I think she's getting a movie, or is it a show?
I think she's getting I think it's a show, but we could be wrong.
But we're being introduced to her. So there are options being put out there that could potentially lead to more attractions in Disney World. And again, we'll just say that this Fifth Gate thing technically isn't happening. It's just a rumor. It's been a rumor for a very long time.
So we're just playing off of that idea tonight. So anyone else from Twitter?
Yeah, we're done with Twitter. One of our agents also it's actually our supervisor, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
She would like to see, and it's interesting she brought this up because we did an episode kind of around the topic a couple of weeks ago for the she wanted to see kind of an American themed theme park where you explore different states with different food options and what makes each state great. So think of like World Showcase, but with states.
I like that.
Yeah.
She had another idea, didn't she?
Yes. She would also, she also likes the concept of Pop Century, the resort as a whole, where you have decades. And she thinks it would be a fun park idea to have different themed lands around decades. And
I'm obsessed with this.
The carousel of progress. You see the progression. Progress.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this. This would be so fun to Dapper Day at. Like,
oh man,
it would be unbelievable. Like, you have a 20s where it's very like, you know, speakeasy, not actually because it's a family park, but that kind of like glitz and glamour and the flapper, and it would be so fun. So fun.
Yeah, and like as you get further along in the decades, like each decade could have like a themed stage to like major concert.
Yeah.
So like, you know, Woodstock and just like Live Aid in the 90s.
This is so fun. This would be really fun. I'm jealous she came up with this idea.
That's a cool idea.
It's a really good one.
And like some of these are just like off the top of my head. So like we haven't really fleshed out those ideas, and yeah, we could do a whole nother episode on some of these ideas you guys are coming up with. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, you want to hear what we've got from Instagram?
Yep, we'll wrap it up with Instagram.
All right, we've got a vote for Cuscotopia.
Yes.
Which I really would love for them to do. I think that's the only water park. And I know that's not really a fifth gate, but it would be another park. And I think that would be so awesome. I'm so mad that Matt came up with that a while back when we were talking about things. So we've got a vote for Cuscotopia. We have a Zootopia, which really lends itself into doing different lands because there's different lands in Zootopia.
Yeah.
So that could fit in really well. A couple people suggest Pixar. We have Chell says something like Islands of Adventure. And so what I take that to mean is something more thrill ride focused. I think maybe a park that is a little bit more intense, which we don't necessarily have. So that's a good one. And then two more, and I know you're going to love these. One, a music themed park.
Okay.
And so you go through, I mean, there's so many things you can do with music, kind of like we talked about with animation or storytelling, where you just highlight a different aspect of music and music history, movie music, which is a completely, separate, sacred thing that I know we both love soundtracks.
I mean, as long as we can get a Helen Reddy animatronic singing Candle in the Water as we float by.
Gosh. I'd rather have the Country Bear show that Danny mentioned. I love that. All right. And then the last one from our friend Allie, a throwback Disney-like 90s to 2000s nostalgia park, Disney Channel original movies, electrical parade, etc., etc. So everything that made Disney great in the 90s and early 2000s just gets dumped into one park. And I love that. That would be so fun because Disney is all about nostalgia, and the 90s were huge with the Renaissance era and Disney Channel movies and everything like that, which I know we've talked about before on an episode. We ranked our favorite DComs. I think that would be really cool. The parades they could do, the shows, that would be awesome.
That would be an idea. I would need to see more concrete attraction ideas.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying no. I just need to be sold on it a little bit more.
Okay, fine. Well, then you're not invited. We'll have fun without you.
Okay. So we're not.
So. No, I think that's a little too late in the
okay.
No High School Musical. Yeah. Okay. I think you got to stop at like really 2003, 2004, which the 90s really ended in like 2004. Let's be honest. The style was bad.
Well, that was kind of, I feel like the height of the Disney Channel original movies was in that.
It was the height of there's a lot of forgotten great Disney movies that came right after the Renaissance that don't get attention. And I feel like they could really be represented here, like Treasure Planet, Atlantis, everything like that. So that's where these movies It would be a cool Soarin' style ride.
Okay.
Like you're on the boat. Okay.
Thank you. Work. I'd love an Atlantis ride. That'd be awesome.
That would be really cool.
That would be fun.
So,
no
wow.
Attractions, please.
No. No. So I think between us and our listeners, we got some really good ideas.
Well done, guys.
Yeah. This is awesome.
It was great being able to think about this, and then you guys obviously have been thinking about this because those were some great ideas. So yeah, thanks for sharing those with us. And thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a blast.
It has. Before we wrap up, we got to talk about Friday.
Friday? Oh, yes, Friday.
There's no movie Friday. Why is that?
Oh, I think we froze.
Oh, really? I see you fine.
The timer stopped.
It's going on my end.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if we're live or not. Trying to find out.
Oh, we look live to me.
So my live timer has stopped.
Let's see.
Like that we're on still.
Oh, we look live to me. There we are.
I got an
error. I heard my voice. Ugh.
I got an error on my screen. I'm like,
See, when I get an error on my screen, I just ignore it. It's like 25 miles to E.
Because my timer's frozen right now. So.
Maybe you're about to get visited by the TVA. Oh, shoot.
We've altered the sacred timeline.
Yeah. By coming up with a fifth gate, we've changed the future of Disney.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. But this week, this Friday, no movie night. And I think Matt should have the honor of telling everyone why.
Okay. So the time has come. I have trained for many weeks, many long days. And it may not seem like a big deal to y'all, but it was a big deal to me because I'm making steps in the right direction. After years of peer pressure from Susie, I signed up for my first Disney races. So I did not sign up for one 5K. I signed up for 3. So before the end of August, I'm going to race 3 5Ks. They're all virtual. So technically I could do these from home. But I thought, you know what? If I'm going to run my first Disney race, I want it to be at Disney World, even though there isn't anything official going on. So Friday night, Susie and I and my wife are going to go down to Orlando. Going to hang out Friday evening, maybe not too long because I have to go home. I have to go to bed and get some rest for the next morning.
Well, I have to too.
And Susie, but
I'm running too. Yeah, well, I'm doing all 3 races as well.
We're going to go over to the Epcot Resort area and run around the lake there. I got the name of the lake.
I don't remember the lake. I think it's 0.8 of a mile around.
0.82, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a few laps around that and do my very first 5K.
Yay, Matt! So follow us on social. You're definitely going to want to see how I'll show you anything before I post to the Look, I'll be there encouraging you. We'll be fine. It'll be fun. We're also going to do this whole weekend. We'll have a video for our patrons. This will be your July content. Get to see us have fun, and then we'll go to Disney Springs and
post-race food. Post-race food.
It's a 5K, Matthew, but yes, we'll eat whatever we want.
Homecoming. Fried chicken.
That's what we want. Nothing says, I just ran like fried chicken. But we're going to have a good time. I'm really proud of Matt. And for anyone wondering why I'm not giving into the peer pressure to do certain things, Mama didn't raise no fool. So I will not be doing the things Matt has pressured me to do, such as Tower of Terror. I'm also blacked out right now and can't go into the parks. So,
But now that those Florida resident tickets are out,
I'm not buying a ticket just to go do that. No. No. Sorry.
When the summer ends.
My peer pressure is good. I'm encouraging you to be active and healthy and set goals. And you want me to fall. Like, you literally just want me to sit on a ride and just fall.
Cardio's good.
No. Do the cardio of my heart racing while I sit there.
Good for you.
Absolutely not.
It's
not the same.
Paces for a little bit. Just very briefly.
Yeah, I need a pacemaker. So anyway, that's what our weekend is going to be. So no movie this Friday. And when we resume that, we'll let everyone know what our plans are in the next couple of weeks. But I'm really excited.
So yeah, just follow along on social media. I'm sure we will be posting there. You can find us. We are on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Obviously, for those of you who are watching on YouTube tonight, thank you. Are you seeing the graphic, Susie? Is the graphic?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I think my browser has just decided to quit, but I'm going to keep going. So I'm gonna wait, and we'll just try to end it here. I don't know if I can actually end the stream, so this is going to be very interesting. But
anyway,
you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if you have enjoyed listening, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and let us know what you love about the show. And we look forward to coming at you next week with another episode. But until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. And I'm going to have to wait because I can't click anything.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Eventually, it's going to pop up saying, oh, there it is. So it's giving me the option to exit the page.
Aww.
We are going to end it here tonight. There is no outro video.
Aww.
But that is technology. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.